Alright, today we're going to look at another strategy for dividing whole numbers. So I have here a problem that's been partially completed, and I've got 448 divided by 16. And if you'll notice out to the side it shows 16 times 20, and then if I look back over here, 20 times 16 is 320, and then I subtract and I have 128. So I'm not finished with the problem. I also see that 16 times 5 is written out to the side. And so I can use this next to help me complete the problem. But I know for sure that I'm not finished because my remainder is more than the divisor. And I can't have a remainder more than the divisor. That means that I can make more groups. So this will also help with your workbook pages from Tuesday if you were having trouble with that. This is the strategy that they were showing in the workbook. So if I have 16 times 5 out to the side, you can work that out if you aren't sure what it is. So 6 times 5 gives me 30, and then 5 times 10 is 50, so when I add those together I get 80. And we know there's other strategies that we could use to multiply. So because I'm going to use that 5, I'm going to place it above the 20. So 5 times 16 is 80. Then I subtract, and I have 48 left over. So I can see that I can still make some more groups with 16 since I have 48. So I know it's going to be less than 5 though, because 16 times 5 is 80. So I could try 4, if you want to try 4. So another strategy for multiplying, 4 times 6 is 24, and I carry the 2, and then I do 4 times 1 plus the 2 gives me 64. So that was too much. I have to get as close as I can without going over. So now I'm going to try 16 times 3. So 3 times 16 is 18, and then 3 times 10 is going to be 30. And when I put those together, I end up with 48. So that one's going to work exactly. So I'm going to place the 3 here. Since 3 times 16 is 48, I subtract, and I've got nothing left over. So then the last thing that I need to do is add these 3 together. So these are partial quotients, and when I add it together, I get 28 as my final answer. Alright, here's another problem that has been partially completed. So I've got 492 divided by 12, and 20 times 12 gives me 240, and then I subtract and I have 252 left over. So I'm not finished with this problem. I see that because I've got 252, I could make another group of 20. So I'm going to put another 20 up here and do 20 times 12 to get 240. I subtract, and now I have 12 left over. So if I've got the same amount as my divisor, that means I can make one more group. So I can make one group of 12. 1 times 12 is 12. And now I've got 0 as the remainder. So to get my answer, I'm going to add these 3 together and I get 41. Alright, this last problem, we're going to start from scratch on it. So 364 divided by 14. So we want to think about how many groups of 14 we can make with 364. And if you're not sure where to start, one thing you can always do is try 10, since 10 is easy to multiply with. So if I did 10 times 14, that's going to give me 140. So, even though that may not be real close, that's a good starting spot. So I can subtract 140. And now I have 224 left over. So I can make another group of 10. So 10 times 14 gives me 140. I subtract, do my regrouping, and I end up with 84 left over. So now I don't have enough to make a group of 10, but I could, do 5, since that's half of 10, and see what I get. And you may, be able to do that in your head, because you can just think about what's half of 140. But if not, you can work it out. 14 times 5, 5 times 4 is 20. Carry the 2. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 is 7, so that gives me 70. So I'll put my 5 here. I get 70. Then I subtract. And I have 14 left over. So again, with this one, I can make one more group of 14. So I'm going to put a 1 here. 1 times 14 is 14. So we want to get as close as we can without going over. And in, all of these examples today, we ended up with no remainder. So our final step is to add these together. So 10, 20, 25, 26. So our answer is 26. And you can always check your division by multiplying. So I can take my answer 26 and multiply it by 14, the divisor, and I should get the dividend. So I'm going to try that to check to make sure that I've done this correctly. So if I take the 26 using the area model, I'll break it up into 20 and 6, and then I multiply it by the divisor, so 10 and 4. So 10 times 20 gives me 200. 10 times 6 gives me 60. And then 4 times 20 gives me 80. And then 4 times 6 is 24. So then I can add my partial products. So I get 260. And then 80 plus 24 gives me 104. And then I need to add these two together, 260 plus the 104. That gives me 364. So if you'll notice, we did get our dividend here, so that means that we were correct when we worked this out. So again, to check it, we multiply our answer times the divisor, and then we should get the dividend. All right, now I want you to complete the problems on the Google form.